If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Hey, this is Lawson Lambert on WNST. If you want to call and talk to me, we're at 410-481-1570. But first we got to pay some of the bills. Maryland Mutual Mortgage. Consolidate your bills into one low monthly payment. Refinance your risky ARM loan into a secure fixed-rate mortgage and cash out up to 85% of your home's value. So call Courier Jeff at Maryland Mutual Mortgage today at 443-625-5001 for details. All right, as I said, I'm Lawson Lambert, and I'd like to take some of your phone calls. And one thing I'm a big fan of is trivia. If I have my own show here one day, we'll have a little trivia game where you call and answer my trivia, or maybe we have a third party have us go head-to-head. But for today, I'll just give you props if you know the answer to this one. I'm going to start out, since this is King and Queen of Baltimore sports, so I went with some Baltimore flavor. All you good Ravens fans, I'm sure, know that the Oakland Raiders came and played the first game against the Ravens in 1996, and the Ravens won 19-14. But for any of the callers that know who the quarterback was for the Raiders on that day, I will say your name again and tell you, you're a big trivia king or queen. All right, so for all the callers that call in, if you want to talk about the Ravens and their depth chart, their draft picks, some of their rookie free agents that they've signed, you can do that. If you want to talk about the Orioles, we can do that as well. I mean, obviously, at 10-17 and 8 games back already in the season, it looks like this isn't going to be the Orioles' year. We probably all knew that when it started. The problem, of course, is with the pitching, because if you look at the lineup, our top 3 hitters are mashing the ball. Aubrey Huff's doing okay. We do have a little bit of problem with filling the left field position, but a lot of times teams have 1 or 2 holes in the order. But clearly the problem here is with the pitching. We have Mark Hendrickson going tonight, and in his 5 starts this season, he has not even averaged 5 innings per game. And when you go to the 6-inning mark, the only one that's averaging at least 6 innings is Koji Uhara. Even Jeremy Guthrie hasn't reached the 6-inning per game mark. And when you have the problems with the middle relief that we have, with Brian Bass with a 6.62 ERA, Chris Ray with a 7.56 ERA, George Sherrill having his problems with saves, we would like to get a few more innings out of the starters. Even Jamie Walker, who I'm looking at right now, only has a 1.93 ERA. That's because he's been giving up the runners that people have been leaving on, because with a 1.5 whip, he certainly hasn't been getting the outs that he's been expected to get. But the one advantage I think you have with calling into me is if you're interested in talking about the hockey playoffs and the Caps or any of the other series, I'd be happy to talk to you. As I was telling Nestor, the NBA playoffs have been great. If you go to my blog, you see that I put my analysis and predictions for the second round NBA playoffs. And unlike a lot of people, I had the Lakers winning in 7 against the Rockets, because I felt the Rockets with their front court, with Yao, Scola, Battier, was going to give the Lakers some problems in the front court. And I thought Battier and Artest are 2 guys, nobody's going to stop Kobe Bryant. I thought they could at least get in his face enough, get in his jersey enough to slow him down to give the Rockets a chance. The question is going to be in this series is if the Rockets can score enough to stay in it. But with the way Yao Ming scored the other night, I think it'll be a good series. I also have the Magic beating the Celtics after that series with the Bulls. Well, I think maybe a lot of people do. The Magic have been my sleeper the whole time. And with Courtney Lee coming back, who I think is a tremendous player the second half of the season. The guy really came on, he scores, he usually guards the top perimeter defender. I think the Magic, who played the Cavs well in the regular season, could be a sleeper pick to make the NBA Finals. If you want to talk boxing, we had the Hatton-Pacquiao fight over the weekend. Pacquiao looked incredible. We can talk about future fights. Dawson Tarver 2 is this Saturday, and then Floyd Mayweather coming back to fight Juan Manuel Marquez in a few weeks. Juan Manuel Marquez is a tough fight. He's given Manny Pacquiao his toughest fights over the past 5 or 6 years. And, you never know how a guy's going to be, both mentally and physically, when he's taken almost 2 years off. So I wouldn't discount Marquez in that fight. And one thing I want to say is, I've heard a lot of people say that Hatton should retire after his fight. I find it a little funny. Boxing is the only sport where this is a problem, where being good isn't good enough. He did lose badly to Pacquiao, he did lose to Mayweather, but he beat a top 10 guy in Paulie Malignaggi in his last fight, and he would probably be a favorite over any of the belt holders in that division. So you're talking about a guy that still is probably top 5 junior welterweight in the world, and because he looked bad in one fight against maybe the best that there is, they say he should retire. It kind of annoys me when people tell other people what to do with their lives like that, especially when Hatton's young. He hasn't really gotten hurt. One-punch knockouts aren't the things that hurt fighters. And he can make a ton of money, more money than he can do anything else fighting over there in Manchester, England.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.